All at the same time. Yeah.
Newtown Planning Commission meeting. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes of our September 16th meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? Any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, all those, can I have a motion to approve? Okay, Shelley, thank you. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Cam, thank you. You weren't at the last meeting. Were you? Okay, that's right, yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I just forgot to, there's yellow highlights in the minutes. Did that go away?
No, I submitted them then. I don't know what the outcome
Shut.
was. I don't think that it matters because we advised the board on whether they voted on it or not. I don't know.
So the end, the yellow doesn't come out.
No. I was highlighting it for everyone who uses this.
Yeah, I'm fine with the minutes. I was just curious what the yellow was for.
I don't know in the end whether they did deny those
That's
requests.
not the yellow issue that.
No, it was to call attention, it was.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Okay, the first item on our agenda is the SALDO Amendment, the native plants. Michelle?
Yes,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you.
So, this ordinance has not changed since the last time we reviewed it. When I reviewed it with you all, we went over, remember I had a presentation from Kim Flanders, our registered landscape architect, talked about all of the revisions to the ordinance. I asked if any commission members had any questions, any comments, to forward them to me. I only had one, and that was from Peggy, who talked to someone who used to be on the planning commission. Peggy?
No, I think she was on the,
Environmental
Advisory
Council, okay. And she, said that when she worked with Alan Fiddler years ago about landscaping, she wanted to make sure that the definition of native plants that she forwarded to Peggy and is in your packets was in our ordinance. It absolutely is in our ordinance. It is currently in chapter 10 of the code. And if you go to the red line version of the ordinance, the definition of native plant is number 2. Under section 22-202, native plant definition is word for word from the definition she recommended be used except for the 2 words at the end. She had plant expert, and we're recommending that it be designated plant. So if there are no other comments, I'm recommending to the planning commission that they recommend this be forwarded along to the supervisors for review and approval.
Okay. I've gone over it and everything looks fine with me. Great.
I think it was good.
Everybody's good with it? Okay. Any public comment on this? No? Jen, okay, come on up, Jen.
I appreciate this ordinance, being a horticulturist and being part of the Penn State Master.
No, put the mic on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Here's your
I
name.
appreciate this ordinance.
Hit the button.
What?
Yeah.
And say your name, too.
Gian Filios, 454 Chelmsford. As an EAC member, as a master watershed steward, as a horticulturist, and as one of the authors of the ordinance that I developed with Ellen Fiedler and Ann Porter, that did give the definition of native plants, and some other ones, other definitions, managed meadow, and updated and not just relist a few other things. There's a couple comments I have about the draft, and you can check this with the Conservation District. There are two trees, the American beech and the Canadian hemlock, that now are very threatened in Pennsylvania. They're also threatened up and down the East Coast and other states. So you might want to check with the Conservation District and maybe do some extra research, because I don't expect them to be viable. The hemlock is besieged by an insect called the woolly adelgid, and what that is an insect, and it coats the whole tree with a cottony type of substance, and it takes only about 2 to 4 years, once that sets in, to for the demise of the tree. So you might want to consider it. I know it's a state tree, and I know that it's also viable in western Pennsylvania, where it's colder, where there are Appalachian mountains. But in southeast Pennsylvania, in the urban environment, it's not expected to do particularly well, especially if you try it in, to put it in our lawn, middle of the lawn or something, where it's going to be windy and exposed. Okay, that's something.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
I don't see them in here, but I don't see them in the ordinance, but they are in our rule.
What were the two trees?
American beech and
Canadian hemlock.
Canadian
American
hemlock.
beech is only suggested on how they are those trees.
The American beech is on page 11.
Okay, thank you. All right, so they are in a long list of trees, and if after looking at them, we'll do more than talk to the Conservation District, because we'll talk to our registered landscape architects and arborists to find out if they should be disputed and if they are overlooked.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
They're in the list that you have to use.
Yeah.
They should be aware of that during the planning. So we would need a motion, bodies of mind, a motion to recommend the approval of the
Native plants.
Native Plants SALDO Amendment to the supervisors so they can take appropriate action.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Warren, we have a second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Michelle, appreciate it. Thank you too, Jen. Okay, next we're gonna move on to our zoning hearing board. First up, we have Sean Dorsey at 9 Clearview Drive. Is here, come on.
Give us your name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Colin Gregg, representing Mums Construction, which was the applicant.
Okay.
Our homeowner, Mr. Dorsey, couldn't attend tonight, but he will be here on the zoning hearing board.
Okay. Okay, so I think this is one of the only houses on that street that has not had an addition put on it.
Right, that seems to
Over
be
the
the case.
years, everybody has, added onto those houses, either going up or going back.
Yeah, our intention, as you see on the plan, is to go back towards the allowable building envelope and
Okay.
remaining under the allowable purpose as well.
So you're going back, on an addition on the back?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, it's a non-conforming lot, everything on that street is a non-conforming lot.
Yeah, he mentioned multiple neighbors have gone through this process.
Yeah.
So what we're considering is the special exception.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm okay with that. Does anybody have any questions or any concerns? Warren, anything? No? Okay.
Anybody from the public
Anybody in the public have any comment?
or any interest in this matter?
Okay, hearing none,
Just to refresh everybody's recollection, we have to handle that. You make a recommendation to the board of supervisors to either from it, in other words, to send the solicitor to the zoning hearing board in support of the application, or oppose it, send the solicitor to the zoning hearing board to oppose the application, or third, to take no position, or recommend that the supervisor take no position, and let the zoning hearing board make its own decision.
I'd make a motion to support this, since I think we've done this for every other property on the street that we've approved over there.
I have no recollection of that, but if we can't do that, just so you know that there's a charge for that.
I will recommend to support a favor position.
Nick, well, all right, we'll take the position.
That's recommend, but.
Yeah. Okay, all right, Warren, making a motion to take no position, we have a second? Shelley, a second, okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 6-0.
Great.
Good, great, thank you, good luck.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. Next we have Jonathan Arnold at 527 Linton Hill Road.
That's a famous subdivision.
What, Clearview?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mark Lewis.
did you, how old, that's an old, wow.
Yeah, my parents were the first owners of the house we grew up in, 5 years. Yeah.
You should have said something to the public.
It was called Kellerville.
Hellerton?
Kellerville, because Marvin Keller
Built
had
them.
built them, and he lived in Mardot Village.
Oh, okay.
But he was, I guess, a local rep back then, and he built those houses.
They're all concrete, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, the foundations, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we lived at 5, and that guy bought a house at 9, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep,
How about that? Interesting.
Introduce us to your neighbors, your clients.
yep, so to my immediate left is John Arnold, and to his immediate left is Gosia Primavera, who is John's architect. John bought this property on Linton Hill Road that I think most of us know has been vacant for quite some time and in pretty rough shape. John bought it about 14, 15 months ago. And the lot in the CM district is undersized because it's just about an acre in the district that requires 3. Obviously, it's an older lot. The intention is to retain the oldest stone portion of the house that juts into the right-of-way of Linton Hill Road, circa 1850, and remove the falling down addition and construct a connector from the main stone piece to a new addition. The application in front of you requests a special exception to allow the construction of an extension on a non-conforming lot, and then 2 variances. Both are necessary because when you apply the CM front yard and rear yard setbacks, the lot isn't deep enough to accommodate either, so you end up with no building up there. The front yard setback applied to the rear yard setback combined is deeper than the lot is. So the variance is to allow for a 35-foot rear yard, and the second variance is to allow the addition and the pool to be built in the front yard. So we're well under impervious requirements, well under building coverage, we're fully compliant with everything else, so it's absent some relief, the property would be sterilized, you couldn't do anything with it, so that's the nature of the application.
I live right down the street from you.
Right.
And I drive past there all the time, I've been watching everything that you've done, you cleared all the lot out.
If you wanna see what's intended.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gosha has
Yeah.
a couple of boards that you'll know right away when you look at them.
Oh,
So
boy.
That's, Gosha, bring it up closer, maybe people can see.
Do you have anything of the existing house?
Yes, so, this portion here, on the right, that's the existing house.
Okay. But the side of it, the front of it, the side of the house faces Linton Hill Road.
This is Linton Hill Road.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
think this.
Looking at the end of the house on Linton Hill Road.
Right.
And this is what you will see, this will be facing the Linton Hill Road.
So the pool's gonna be in the front?
Yep,
Yep.
Okay, so you're taking that glass greenhouse that's already on there, that's coming off?
We're taking off the really like non-historic kind of addition, it really doesn't have any historic significance to it. And we are constructing, well, the plan is to construct this connector to the main addition. And due to the nature of the site and the conditions of the location of the septic, and the leach field, that kind of led us to the location of the pool in the front yard.
So the pool will be on Linton Hill Road?
yep.
Yes, it will be screened, with the landscape buffer, but yes, it will be in front.
So how many square feet is the total house going to be?
So the footprint is, 2,600,
The existing house there, what's the square footage of it as it is now without that glass addition, was that like a greenhouse on there?
Yeah, it's like a sun porch almost.
Okay.
And he also put an addition on that she was talking about. So there's the addition that he put on and then the sun porch, greenhouse that you're calling.
Okay.
If you look at the plan, that accompanied the application, you can see the outline of the existing additions that would be removed to accommodate this.
It's a big, huge change. Yeah.
Looks like
So-
it's in keeping with what the area should look.
The one portion that we're proposing to get demo, it doesn't have proper head clearance, and it doesn't have proper circulation, so, the stair, the width of all the, it just doesn't need any means of egress, so we would either have to completely rebuild it, but, lifting up the floor, it's almost, it's, for such a small addition, it would be, not feasible. So, we're proposing to, demolish the portion that doesn't meet kind of the standards of the means of egress of, today's code.
So is that the glass portion you're talking
The
about?
glass, and then there's another small addition before the main house.
Okay, so I probably have never seen that from Linton Hill Road.
If you drive slow, you know, you would see it.
It's the side of the house.
Yeah,
So you've never seen.
We do have another board, if you want us to bring of the existing, or just the photo of the existing portion, do you want us to bring that? Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
2 minutes, not too much.
Yeah.
Are there any historic,
Yeah.
pieces of a historic building that are being demolished?
Is this on the register, is this listed on
No,
the
it's not
historic
listed on the
register?
register, no. It's not listed on the register, and it is far more easier and cheaper to really demolish it, but we feel, and the client feels, he really appreciates to maintain the history of the, the character of the most historic and oldest portion of the house.
Where's the septic located on there? Where's
So the
that?
septic is, if you look on the plan, it's shown there, and it's on the right side. So it really would be behind, this. So this is the existing driveway.
Right.
It really is behind the house, up the hill almost.
Okay. That's the mound, the sand mound back there? For the
And I'm
septic?
back there. And then, so we're maintaining the driveway in the existing location, so it's really existing to remain. As you know, the property really slopes, significantly, so it's really the only point of access that you would be able to maintain into this property. So, again, the slope in the back, the existing home and the driveway kind of dictated, the location and the position of the house and the pool.
It's going much better than this here, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a little pixelated, but you can, it's partially blocked by the existing tree.
Right.
But this is the existing house, and then this is the addition that has a really low ceiling.
So you're taking the addition out of the
So we're taking the
glass.
addition,
Okay.
since, it's really not as old as the house, and it doesn't really hold, like a historical significance. So those two would be demolished, and the original house would be maintained.
What year is the original house?
1850.
1818.
And when was the additional part that you wanted to demolish?
The best we can tell, sometime in, early,
Early 1980s?
yeah.
Might have even been earlier than that.
Well, he didn't buy it till 81, he built it, so.
Oh, okay.
Sometime 82, 83.
Oh, okay.
I actually went to school with his daughter, so that's,
Wow.
so she told me a little bit. She wasn't sure either, somewhere around there.
It's gonna look really nice.
Sorry?
It's gonna look really nice.
I hope so.
The rendering is beautiful. Are there any neighbors nearby?
Sorry?
Neighbors nearby, have you consulted with them and?
I haven't really met anyone, because I'm not living there, so.
What about the people behind the house? I know that,
Yeah,
Bay Shore Drive backs
yeah,
up to that.
I've never met them, but.
Yeah, because the back of their houses are right
Yeah.
behind your addition, right
I
there.
can't see
Yeah, so
anybody
the-
objecting, but you probably should get something in writing that they don't object.
Yeah, they're really, we're so low on impervious and building coverage, we're dramatically lower than what we feel.
I asked
They
for
drove
it.
by this morning, and all the Bay Shore people have big fences.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, they have a huge fence there.
They do.
They do have a pool in their backyard, and there's a line of, mature trees.
Trees, yes.
And then there's a solid fence in between.
And then the other neighbor, he kind of comes in on an angle from the top part of the property. So, and I don't know what to say there. His whole backyard is his
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
It looks like you're taking the tree out of the front of the house, based on the old picture. Is that accurate?
This is just for kind of, visibility, just for rendering purposes to see the house, but for the tree, we're going to keep the tree.
Are they
It
the
needs a
next
pretty
people
sidewalk
over
right
there?
now,
Are
and
they
it's
the
a
next people
company
over
that
there?
you can cut it back
Does the
or.
tree help?
Yeah, I know.
Tree?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I took all that brush down and.
I know, I mean, I watched all the cleanup there, yeah.
Sometimes people take down perfectly good trees just so you can see the house.
Yeah, no,
And that drives me crazy.
That's not the intention.
Okay.
I was trying to keep all the trees up to there.
Now, it's kind of close to the road, so.
It's very
the
close,
trees
yeah.
Gives you more privacy.
Yeah.
And we're obviously intending to plant new trees, as well, to screen and buffer from the street a little bit.
The zoning hearing board may ask you some questions about the neighbors, so if you're all good, you may want to.
We don't have, I assume, notices.
The notices were gone out today.
Right, I know that we're gonna go out this week, I'm sure there's opportunity for dialogue.
Okay. I can't see anybody objecting, but you should just have a question.
Getting there somewhere helps if you're doing anything that's
Yep.
not.
And according to our ordinance, no swimming pools are permitted in the front yard. Yeah, I know.
May need more than just landscape buffer for safety
Oh, you
reasons.
have to have a
Well,
fence.
you
Oh,
have
absolutely,
to
yeah.
have the fence, yeah.
You don't have to have a fence anymore, because you can have a.
On a pool?
Correct. You can have an automatically closing cover. It isn't.
Well, really?
My concern is because
It's like as soon as there's no.
Well, you hit a button and it covers it.
Right.
I don't.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
the question about a fence, you do not need a fence, you can have a special permit.
Automatic cover?
Cover,
To avoid having to put a fence up. You'd much rather have landscaping.
Yeah.
Yes, recently.
I mean, our ordinance in the township requires fencing around.
And this one require it.
Unless you have an electric company.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's the first I've ever done it. Yeah. Just had it come here.
I think John's preference would be to cover instead of putting up an unattractive.
Well, that would be up to the zoning hearing board, correct?
Yeah, but if you
We would ask for relief other than the pool, so.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't want to be considered an attractive nuisance with kids on bicycles going down the street.
Right.
Jumping into your.
Especially on that road, you want to have it heavily landscaped.
That's all I can.
It kind of sits up pretty high.
Yeah.
It's almost like a natural wall.
It is high, and I have to say that, people that drive their bikes on Linton Hill between Washington Crossing and Stupeville are really taking their life in their hands.
Because it's very narrow.
It's not a safe place to ride a bicycle. And we get a lot of it. So what are the feeling, how the members feel about this? Any comments?
I'm good with it.
As long as there's like some sort of cover for the pool or some sort of vent.
Yep.
Already designed, based on design.
So our role again is to make a recommendation to the board of supervisors of whether they're going to support, oppose, or take no position for the zoning hearing board.
I move to recommend that the board take no decision.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, Mary, and a second, Joe. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Good.
Okay, motion passes. I'm telling you, the neighbors are gonna be thrilled to see that really cleaned up. Yeah, I wish you a lot of luck there.
Thank you.
One of the nicest streets or roads in Newtown, actually, in that area.
Yeah.
G-O-S-I-A. Okay.
You know, it's one of the only houses that's on, you know, everybody up there's on lower acreage. Back then, an acre was a lot, I guess. Yeah. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Okay,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, okay, next item on our agenda is 98 Upper Silver Lake Road. Mr. Murphy? Again? He's a busy guy.
This is, the timing of this is just sort of odd because you just looked at this at length. The self-storage.
Yeah.
At length within a month. And it was your review of the sketch preceded by less than a week of the formal submission of the zoning hearing board application. So I think you pretty much, with Justin here, walked through the issues that are now formally in front of you, which is not the use itself, but the variance which generated a lot of conversation was the issue of the manager's apartment, and whether or not that was something that anybody would support. I think
Maybe there's no show.
your board, I think recommended by a 6-3 vote or something like that, that manager apartment be retained as part of the project. I've heard from the township solicitor differently, that the board initial reaction is not to be supportive of that manager appointment. So, but at least at this point, this application, like the one preceding it, is scheduled to be heard by your zoning hearing board on November 6th. So,
The one with the apartment or without the apartment?
well, the application today still includes the apartment. Whether or not between now and November 6th something changes, we'll see. In terms of the client's feeling about the worthiness of including the apartment.
If you look at your minutes, that was our last meeting, and.
Mary, turn your mic.
Mr. Dallas moved to recommend that the Board of Supervisors take no position. Ms. Donaldson seconded, and the motion passed 5-3 with Mr. Deutsch, Mrs. Driscoll, and Mr. Magahazy voting nay. So that, just to refresh your memory.
Okay.
Well, you know, my issue was, it's not a permitted use in combination,
I know what that is.
residential with, in the LI.
Right. I saw the minutes and I saw the three votes not supported said it's not consistent with the zoning and they don't like it. I get it. If you don't think there's a value to including that type of security in that facility, okay, I get it, but it's not, and I think we all know it, I mean, it's not uncommon to have a manager's residence in some of these self-storage, especially the older ones right next to it, right behind it, that has a
No, but it's not
freestanding
in the
house.
building.
I know, it had a freestanding house. I did that job 100 years ago. And that included a house that was part of that, and that's where the manager of that older self-storage facility lived. So, the concept is the same. If you don't support it, I understand it, and we'll see if we keep it or withdraw that portion of the application. The use itself is a permitted use, we all understand that. I think the focus was on that manager apartment that we asked for a variance because it's not permitted. So, if that feeling hasn't changed, then okay.
Well, I think we're still in favor of 5-3.
Yeah, right.
But the supervisors are against it, so then the.
I don't know if they've taken an
zoning board
official
will
position
make it-
yet, but
will make the call.
Mr. Sander reached out to me and said, I think the board is not going to be supportive of that element of the application. Right.
I'm under the same opinion as last time. We recommend the supervisors take the position on this application with the zoning hearing board, so.
Has anybody's opinion changed since the last presentation?
No, and I think the case, one of the points that the woman had was, it's part of the compensation package as well. And find somebody that will be there as the manager and take care of the place. That's part of the compensation. And I think it's absolutely critical that somebody does monitor storage facilities on a routine, daily basis, because of just trash piling up and people that drop their stuff off and off they go. I support, I support the manager's place being there.
You would, I guess, have to have some assurance that, say, let's say down the road, the owner of that facility is getting somewhat financially strapped. They cut out that position, and then they decide, hey, we'll rent the apartment and make some other money, you know. How do you prevent that?
Could we make it a condition? I mean, the zoning hearing board.
We could recommend to the supervisors that they take that into consideration.
That it's a condition of the approval, that it be for the manager only.
That it couldn't be rented out?
Yeah.
Right, understood. It has to be part and parcel of the facility.
But recommended to be in the zoning hearing board's decision.
Yeah,
That would be,
that's what I'm.
that's a letter that the solicitor could send, as opposed to a hearing.
Yeah.
That's like, that's somebody supporting.
Okay, so,
I understand what everybody's feelings are. We have other storage facilities in the township that do not have managers that live on site. I don't think we've had any problems with trash or they were blighted. And to me, it's not a permitted use. Combined, the residential I'm just more in favor of upholding ordinances as they are written currently.
Does anybody else share the chair's position?
Same here. I do wholeheartedly do think, and I agree with the chair, that it's not a permitted use, and we haven't had any sort of trash problems or inconveniences for that, for lack of better words, in the township with the other storage units. So if you set a precedence here, I think you're gonna set a precedence.
But there's no
There's no
precedent.
precedent.
I know, I'm just saying, if you allow this to happen, you might have to, with other potential future commercial properties, you might have to consider it.
Without taking, all everybody, it's somebody, there are two people opposed to that particular part of the use, and four in favor.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. So certainly, we can include that in our
recommendation.
to board of supervisors. And I also thought there was some kind of email that we received about
Yes,
this matter.
it was, and it was not about the apartment, it was about the storage.
It was about the storage unit, but at the end of the letter, she
Yeah,
wrote that.
it may not be right, but we should probably put it on the record.
Okay.
She couldn't
For
be
the
here
record.
tonight.
This was a neighbor or a
A
resident?
resident of Newtown,
It's still-
on 120 Fountain Farm, should I read it into the?
Yeah.
Okay. Writes to the planning commission, it was in your packet.
Yeah.
Recently saw it on Facebook. I honestly cannot even imagine thinking of tearing the existing building down and developing a 3-story storage unit and an apartment for security guard. This not only would be a definite eyesore for the lovely area, but we do not really need another storage unit in this area. And she lists all the other storage units. Do we need that in the record?
No.
There's Penn's Trail, Upper Silver Lake, Woodburn Road, Flowers Mill, and Langhorne. And, she's signing for herself.
I think in the letter, she thinks that it's the TD Bank next to Blue Point that is coming down, if you read the envelope.
I think
Yeah.
you're right, but we don't have to comment on it. She's not here to
Yeah.
cross-examine or
Yeah.
question about it, but I want it to be off the record, and whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
I'll read that sentence into the record.
Currently, she's a condominium owner,
Yeah.
Mountain Farm over
Yeah.
on the bypass.
No commercial storage area or anything of that type. It is a shopping area, not an industrial park. If the storage area wants to go to the industrial park, I am sure they could find space. So, yeah, sounds like she thinks it's.
She thinks it's the TD Bank by Acme that.
And it is confusing, there's no.
But she does refer to it, the Chick-fil-A proposed.
Yes,
Yeah.
year before this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Maybe she put that.
She's definitely confused.
In any event,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is right next door to the other two
Yeah.
bank.
we shouldn't spend, we shouldn't spend time.
She got her information from Facebook, need I say more?
I don't want to say anything about it other than we read it into the record. Its value is the words that are written on her page. You take it under advisement, that's all you can do.
Be considered for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay.
Okay.
So, we have a motion to
Laura
recommend.
made one. I wrote it down.
You did?
Yeah.
Mr. Dow's moved to recommend that the Board of Supervisors take no position and on this application. Subject to the condition that only the manager can live in the rental unit, live in the apartment, dwelling unit, how's that?
Okay, so we have a motion, do we have a second? Second. All right, Shelley, thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Okay.
And me.
Yeah?
Okay, so the motion passes 4-2. Thank
We'll be
you.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna, be delayed.
Yeah.
You're getting used to us.
Huh?
You're getting used to us.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going anywhere, it's got a long night ahead of it.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have, the NAC.
Right.
20 Pheasant Run.
So this is an odd one. Years ago, the 3 letters NAC, which is considered the wall sign, was approved in 2013 and reapproved again in 2019 by the zoning hearing board, but the sign itself didn't get installed until 2022, 2023.
Is that the one that's on the wall? Is that what you're talking about?
It is, right, the letters, NAC. What happened, as I understand it, was that those three letters, which are of the size, square footage consistent with the zoning hearing board decision, were put on a face of the building that was not previously approved as part of those earlier zoning hearing board decisions. The original decision was for those three letters to face Penn Street. Where the contractor put it faces Woodburn Road in Middletown Township. Honestly, I don't know, if you didn't know it was there, unless you're traveling north on Woodburn at the intersection, I don't know that you see it. I don't know that you see it coming up the bypass either direction.
I see it every time I drive home.
On the bypass?
No, on Woodburn Road.
Right, correct. So, I don't know what the preference is. The reason we sought the variance in the hearing in November is to confirm where it is now, as opposed to making, in my mind, more visible if you put it on the side facing Penn Street, where you'll see it coming up the bypass. It's whatever your preference is. I don't know whose sensibilities, or what sensibilities are more offended by where it is now as opposed to.
I think it should adhere to where it was supposed to be.
What?
I think it should adhere to where it was
Okay.
approved to be, not to where the
Okay.
quote mistakenly put it.
That's why we asked for the relief to know what people's preferences, so.
You know, Mary and I were talking about it earlier. We were, I think in 2014, we were both here on planning when those signs came in.
Okay.
And, we also talked about directional signs to
Yes,
go,
and they did not approve them, so it was kind of dropped, but at the driveway, we.
Can you put your mic
Right.
on?
This sign was one of multiple signs.
Yeah, it was a
that were
large
approved.
application, with
Right.
many signs, and we thought that the directional sign at the entrance should have been approved, but it wasn't, that would say, the restaurant, the sports center, yeah. But anyway, they didn't do it, but I don't know that this is still true, but at the original.
That's the
yeah.
sign that's at issue.
Yeah, I know, but at the original zoning hearing board,
That's
they made
This was part of a larger.
we had a
sign.
fireman actually confirm that the big sign was helpful in emergencies at night. As a guide.
Or the universe.
Yeah, it just kind of died.
This is the issue. That's where it was supposed to go. Where it is there.
So it's kind of at the intersection here instead of here.
That's what those are. So it's the right side.
I don't consider it, it's a permitted sign, it's a
Yeah.
permitted, it's, you know, it is there.
And it's gonna look exactly the same on the other wall.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you have to just keep it the way it is, and it's been like that for years, and it's not really as visible on the bypass unless you're coming off the Woodburn Road, unless you really are paying attention and looking to the right.
It's still gonna be visible from the bypass, no matter where it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
If I,
It looks nice right where it is.
Ed would know the answer to this question, but at that, when these originally came in, it was mentioned about how they lost so much land with the installation of the bypass that they were kind of grandfathered in to have a sign facing the bypass.
That's what Don Marshall made me aware of. I think Don represented Jim.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Yes.
And Don told me that was the reason why
Yeah.
the sign was being proposed where it was, and everybody was aware of the sign prohibition facing bypass, but you're right. The right of way that was taken there was obviously pretty dramatic.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't understand that they actually own all that land out, that is
Yeah.
now the bypass. That was owned by his father, correct?
That part I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I was
it was.
involved with the other one, with the DeLucas,
Yeah.
all the rest of the way down,
Yeah.
that we created the opportunity to get that right away, to do the bypass, and we scrunched our development, you know, where the sewer plant and all the other stuff was gonna go. That got compressed to allow for the right of way bypass.
And
I don't know about the NAC.
that's what I remembered, and it also stuck in my mind that Mr. Marshall said that the township asked the MAP to consolidate their lots. And
Okay.
if they hadn't been consolidated, they'd be entitled to even more
Have more
signs.
signs.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
But now it's only one line, so.
So what we're looking at is either it stays there or it moves a little.
Move it from one face to the other.
Where was it
Instead of
supposed to
that
be?
intersection, move it this way so you see around the fence.
Can you tell me where it was supposed to be? I'm not sure I understand. Like if you were coming up Penn's Trail and you look to your right, if you're,
And it said Newtown Athletic and Racquetball Club,
Yeah.
didn't it?
yeah,
That's.
And they always
something-
had the racquetball sign,
yeah.
and then they changed it to a plan.
Instead of over there on Penn Street.
Yeah, I
I
second.
job is to recommend that the supervisors
Take no position.
take, but they either oppose or support or take no position.
Is that your motion?
I'll make the motion, supervisors take no position.
I second. Chorus is second.
Okay. All right, so Warren made the motion, who seconded?
Shelley, Cam, and Mary.
Okay.
All three of us, one or two, please.
Cam, you haven't made a motion in a while.
All right, I'll put Cam down a second, okay?
Can you repeat the motion, please?
The motion is to leave the sign the way it is.
No, the motion is to recommend that the board take no position on this application. And leave it to, yeah, leave it to the zoning hearing
The
board.
application is to leave the sign where it is.
That's the,
Yes,
that
asking
is
for
the
the variance to
request
keep
that we
it.
are making, to keep the sign where it's been for the last 2 years.
You're asking for it.
Okay,
So our recommendation is to send it to the zoning hearing board. with
Let them decide.
no
Yeah.
comment.
Got it, understood. Okay.
So there's nothing new happening, just trying to.
If we got it approved, nothing changes.
Okay, we have, Warren made the motion, Cam second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed?
Opposed?
Okay. So the motion passes 5 yes and 1 no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, here we come again.
We're back. Are you on the, you on New Dolington now?
Okay, now we, move on to land development, 473 Lower Dolington Road. And,
This board has probably seen this plan more times than any other project in recent memory. Harry Becker had it. How many times did we look at this? Over and over and over again. We kept changing the number of lots. Constantly adjusting them, and at the end of the day,
well, we want to get it right.
took a while, but yes, I think everybody thinks it finally got right size, and what's turned out, honestly, really pretty interesting, and different, and worthy, I think.
Before we get started on that, can I ask what they're doing to the old house,
Yeah,
Harry's house?
James can show you.
Okay.
They're fully restoring it, and I think they're getting close to it being complete, but James has, I think, a recent picture of what it looks like.
This is James.
So you're actually gonna be selling 4 homes on there?
Great.
and what is your name, Jim?
James,
Okay.
you can see we did,
I drive by it, I live up on.
it's a full restoration. We took every piece of water out of there. The structure's retained itself. We put a small addition to the structure, a little bit of light in. Other than that, she's exactly how she said. Just brand new. And without the, all the charm. Informal, but yeah,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have done it any other way. Too much beauty in that structure.
So anyway, what ended up happening was a plan of retention and restoration of Paul and Harriet's house, which is nearly complete, and 2 new buildings. Into the zoning hearing board to get relief to allow to do that. Density, the concern was in the earlier iterations of the plan was density, and that all got resolved. So at the end of the day, I think what you probably remember, we started out with the house in 5 or 6 lots, or 7, I forget, but it ended up the house plus 2. So there's been a great deal of time and energy that I think Michelle was part of, trying to lay out something that maintained the appropriate site distance on Lower Dolington, to minimize impervious, to create a vista for the house to be seen from Lower Dolington, all the open spaces in front of the house. There were neighbors to the north in that community that came out and supported the plan, so long as we installed a dense buffer along that common boundary line, which will be done as part of this plan. And we have the 2 lots that are highlighted on the plan that, again, every effort's been made to try to work around mature trees and all the other natural resources that people were making an effort to preserve. So I think the plans are pretty clean. At this point, all that's left are a handful, more than a handful, of waivers because of the care that was taken to try to do something on the ground that made sense to take advantage of the natural resources to be preserved on the property.
Just to build on that, you'll see that this is the existing house that we just saw the picture of. Right now, there's a driveway which comes up, kind of meanders through the trees to access the house. When we were laying this out, we came to the 3-lot configuration. This road meandered through, and this is a road by definition, even though it's really just a driveway. But in order to create lots and have this configuration, it needs to, for all intents and purposes, be called a road. So a lot of the waivers that you'll see are associated with it being a road but not being a road. So that's the type of it. We meandered around, saving a lot of trees. This road was positioned so that you can still see the house from the street and also maintain site distance along Lower Dolington Road. So that driveway was positioned to be furthest away from the 2 intersections, but still maintaining the view. We also have, you'll see the road kind of meanders through to the dead end, trying to preserve impervious. We did work with the fire marshal, so a fire vehicle can actually get in, back up, and leave the site. So we do have this approval based on this design. A lot of the waivers are associated with being a dead-end street, not a cul-de-sac, but we don't need a cul-de-sac, it's really just a driveway. And we did make sure that the fire marshal was satisfied with the layout. But we did submit 2 times. We did receive reviews, revise, resubmit before coming back. At this point, I'll defer to the engineers here, but I think the letter's clean, it's mostly will complies with waivers. There's really not much more to discuss. Everything else has been, I think, very much engineered and discussed at this point. So I think if you take questions, or you can walk through the waivers, however you want to proceed here, I'll take your lead.
I have some questions on the waivers. I'm looking at your 7-page letter.
Yes.
Street lighting, I think you need some kind of lighting there, even if you have something at the entrance. And then at the end of the street, I mean, it's dark back there, you got Sterling next to you, and it's deep. I think you need some kind of lighting for safety purposes, for emergency services.
So the waiver is from installing street lights at the interval that the ordinance requires. There will be lighting, so the driveways will have landscape lighting, and these are gonna be very expensive homes. The driveways are gonna be lit. There is going to be lighting, but we do not wanna have the interval of lighting as like your residential street would have.
Peggy, you're talking about a gooseneck lamp at the entrance Lower Dolington, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, when you
Not
turn off
all the
Lower-
way up to the driveway.
No, just something,
When it's over.
I mean, it's, yeah, right at the,
We
you
can
know,
do
when you
something.
turn into there,
We can do something decorative at the entrance, to light the
I
entrance.
mean, yeah.
I think we should.
Why a gooseneck?
Say
Why
what?
a gooseneck? Why a gooseneck light?
Doesn't have to be, I just thought because you want to shine down and not spread too much light, but
Right,
there's a better recommendation.
I'd like to hear what the planning commission thinks, but maybe a typical driveway light, a smaller driveway light might be appropriate. too.
Yeah, just something that looks nice and
But you
does.
don't want a series of them, you want one at
Just
the
one
end.
at the
Yeah, I mean, when you're coming, when you're
Okay,
coming
that's-
down the road, it's dark.
Understood. No,
Right, that's good.
the waiver is just from your standards of lighting along the entire street, like you would at a full subdivision. We're not opposed to installing a light at the entrance.
And what about the end of the street? Since we're not gonna
Well,
do
that's
it.
almost gonna be where the driveway is, so that probably will work out. Okay, if there's gonna be a light here at that entrance driveway, that basically covers that.
Oh, we're talking about a light down at the
Yeah,
intersection.
Peggy was asking at the end of it.
Right, because one is required at the end of all dead-end streets also.
So do you want something there, or would the light at the driveway to the house suffice?
My feeling is the entrance off of Dolington,
Right,
Right.
down here.
okay, yeah,
We're all
and at
good
the
on
end of
that.
the street.
Right.
And it's required at the end of the street?
Yes.
I'm saying if we put an enhanced light at the entrance to that,
As long as it's high enough and bright enough without casting
Yeah.
any glare, actually.
you don't want to do something that's not tasteful.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but we are going to, most you see along the driveways, the larger houses, they have the pier lights at the entrance of the driveway. These driveways will all have two pier lights set at the end of the driveway. So there will be, I mean, we're trying to make these attractive too. And we're not opposed to lighting it, just the waivers are always for the intent of the ordinance, which we're not meeting.
Right, but you do, I mean, at the entrance to
Yes,
the street.
I agree with that, and I
Yeah.
think the driveway pier lights, to the extent that that's not enough, we could add more, but I think the pier lights should
I think the
suffice.
pier light.
Tell me what a pier light is, you mean like a column at the end?
Yeah,
column with the
yes.
light on top?
Correct, at the end of
Okay.
each driveway, pier lights, they'll light the driveway, and I'm sure that all these driveways will have lights going up the driveways as well.
Okay, might I suggest that you make a recommendation, perhaps for approval of that waiver conditioned upon the pier lights being at each driveway
Agreed.
intersection?
And this one facing the road has to be bright enough that you can actually see where,
Yes.
where you're going, because I know, like, my mom was in an assisted living place, when the light is off, you drive right by it, and you slow down and you turn, it's just very dangerous if you can't really see where it is you're going.
That's a good point.
What you're going in.
I
Gotta be
remember
brighter.
on Upper Silver Lake Road, the Dolington Road changes its dimension right at Upper Silver Lake Road. It's much narrower once you get past to the east. At night, that's very dangerous, even with the streetlights, the people are both paying attention, moving over to the left, you go straight, and then people are trying to make a right to Upper Silver Lake Road. There's often a lot of tension right at that point, so that's to be enough light there.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We agree.
Okay, and then you have a waiver, to permit the right of way of 50 feet, a cartway of 22 feet, and to omit curb and gutters.
Correct, yes, so again, we have to call, and I'm gonna point to this point, we call it road A on our plan, we have to call that a road, but.
What's the name, has a name now, right?
Yeah, we do have a name for it.
Willow Hill, part of it.
Yes, Willow Hill, I think.
What is it?
Willow Hill.
Willow Hill.
Willow Hill, yeah, okay.
Willow Hill.
No, you have Willow Drive right in the,
Drive right now.
yeah, right down the street.
But it is called Beckert Drive.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Or Harriet.
Or
Road.
Harriet Road,
Yeah, I mean, it's up to
That's
you.
kinda nice.
We don't control it.
No, because Willow Drive right down at the village, right down the street.
And we do, and as you know, road names have to be approved by the
Yeah.
postmaster and everything, so we have a road name tentatively picked out, but we'll take them
I
on.
think Willow's gotta hit the road. Yeah.
But for, again, in a normal flag lot scenario where you're sharing a driveway like this would not be designed to road standards. So when we call this a road so that we have right of way and everything that we need to do to make the subdivision work, and this is what the zoning was approved on, we're not meeting all the road design criteria. So curb, gutter, breakaway width, road width, we don't meet them because it's only serving basically 3 lots.
And the goal was to reduce the amount of unnecessary impervious surface, so we're trying to, and that's not new. We were trying to negotiate all this months and months ago before we even got to this, to try to limit the amount of impervious.
Which is, again, to build on that, why we, after we came up with the layout, we got it approved by the fire marshal, because that was key to us, to make sure the road was designed to a sufficient width for emergency vehicles to access K-turn and back coming out. We do have that approval, so. Curb and gutter, again, not necessary when we do a roadside design like this. All the lots are gonna be designed with on-site stormwater. We're actually over-designing the lots for additional impervious on the lots, so that they're all over-designed. So we are really trying to limit the impervious footprint, make this as low impact as possible, manage everything running off of the property on the individual lots.
Is the road private road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and the other one we have is, Nice Melody, the 22-foot cartway. The road's gonna be 22 feet wide?
Yes.
Okay, and that's sufficient enough, or?
Yes. So a typical lane, on your driving roads between 9 to 10 feet wide.
Uh-huh.
So 22 foot wide on a road of this nature is plenty. 2 cars passing without a problem.
Good.
There won't be any parking along that road.
No.
That street, whatever it's called, the non-road.
We'll call it a road as a driveway, basically.
Okay.
But if someone has a big party and they have people parking out on the street,
Yes, obviously that's a concern. These lots are all, you can see how big some of these driveways are. Again, for the rare occasion that does happen, that would be something we'd have to monitor, and the HOA rules would take care of that. But they do have very large driveways, big parking courts, so, yeah.
well, I have a long driveway and I'm on a big lot, and when people come to my house, nobody parks in the driveway for some reason, because they don't want to get stuck in the
You're
driveway.
too popular.
Yeah, you're too many friends.
Stop and wait.
Yeah.
I couldn't fill the driveways, so.
Street rating, okay, the street trees. Generally at intervals not to exceed 25 feet, to permit the spacing of street trees to exceed 25 feet. How far apart are the trees gonna be?
So we are installing street trees. Part of this ordinance is required, part of this waiver is required because we have underground utilities, so we can't meet the spacing requirement, and there's also existing trees, so we can't meet the spacing requirement for that.
So are you leaving the existing trees that are there?
That's part of the design, was trying to preserve as many trees as possible. There are some trees to be removed, but the large trees are staying.
Does your plan that you have up there accurately reflect the proposed trees and the existing trees?
It does, yes, and you can see the existing trees are shaded. It might be hard to see from your seats here, but it's shaded. The darker trees are the proposed street trees and additional plantings. You'll see up here the buffer that was requested as part of zoning from the adjoining neighbors, and then a large amount of existing trees all scattered through. Our plan shows each one of them in detail, and the size of them and everything, but that's why that road meanders at such an angle.
We're not looking to avoid the obligation to do street trees, we just gotta can't have conflicts with utilities and other things, so we will certainly commit to installing the required number of trees, and probably end up doing more than that anyway, so.
And most of these property owners and houses of this caliber will be doing their own landscape packages as well, too, so, which we don't account for showing.
And what about the basin slopes? You have 3 basins back there?
Yes, so the basin slope requirement, it's common, I've asked for it here in your township before. In order to maximize the bottom basin, the bottom of the basin, which is the area of infiltration or management of the basin, we try to go steeper on the sidewalls. 3 to 1 is still mowable, but still a manageable slope. So we go steeper on the side so that you get a bigger footprint on the bottom, so.
Are you gonna put any kind of fountain in there or
No,
anything?
no. These are required BMPs in accordance with DEP standards, so they are gonna be rain guard plan it and maintain. We have an MPDS permit, which is gonna be recorded, and these are gonna be like a basin that you would see on a subdivision. They're gonna have management rules associated with it, maintenance and requirements.
Wow, would that be similar to the basement here on my street? I mean, we have a fountain in there, I mean, we have,
You may have, sorry to cut you off, you probably have an extended release or a pond that has a regular water surface in there.
oh, yeah.
These are meant to drain over time. So when you have a water surface in there, that's called an agitator, it's gotta stir up, so the water doesn't get stagnant. That's not here, these are supposed to drain within a certain design period.
They're not meant to hold water for an extended period, like we have basins that when it rains, they'll fill up. The top and overflow, they have too much, it might take a day or two. Then they do dry up pretty quick. Low it like that.
What about if we get a lot of rain, a whole lot of rain?
Right, it says, usually in 2 days.
It'll drain out.
I'll walk to check. Surprisingly, they do drain out. But it keeps that big slug of water from going right to Newtown Creek. Unless you have an overflow, you get too much water over the top.
Here you're gonna have to, even though he doesn't say it right, it's like W-A-T-E-R in your minutes, not W-O-O-D-E-R.
And Melanie had a comment too, we talked about this a little earlier.
Yeah, so I had a comment on the slopes, since there isn't gonna be the curves, and associated like inlets that then pipe into the basin, everything's gonna be flowing overland into the basin. And if you have a steeper slope, it might be more, likely to erode. So we would maybe suggest if you could do an erosion control matting, that just basically, it makes it less likely to erode, since everything will be flowing overland into it instead of being piped in.
Well, we're not opposed to that, for one. Usually we do mat 3-to-1 slopes, so we're not opposed to it, but just for clarity, we do pipe all the roof leaders. There's a small amount that's overland flow, but the houses, the entire footprint of the houses is piped to the basin with flare vent sections. We wouldn't do overland flow to that extent for that reason. So, yeah, but yeah, 3-to-1 slopes typically get matted by landscape anyway. No, not opposed.
That was our only comment on the steep slopes, and then we have just a couple others.
Yeah, what are your other comments on,
So one of the waivers is regarding sidewalks, and so Leanne and I took a look at what was, along Dolington currently, and it looks like the sidewalks kind of stop at this property, so that might be something that the thing.
There's gonna be a trail that goes into that area that should be considered.
Yeah.
The planning commission comments on that also, that there should be a trail along the frontage of Dolington Road.
But there is a sidewalk on the adjacent development to the, what would that be, to the south?
To the west.
To the west, thank
Well,
you.
yeah,
On your side of the road, right?
Correct.
Right, so
You're talking
rather
about-
than a trail, sidewalk might be appropriate too, to just continue
Coming from.
the existing sidewalk.
Road. I would recommend, we talked about this a lot, developments, to put sidewalks along here already.
Just put a crosswalk at the western end of the intersection of Dolington and Upper Silver Lake.
Was there any sidewalk to go to on the other side?
Yeah, you
That's-
can't put a crosswalk if there's no.
I would put a crosswalk in.
No,
I'm just reading it right from
the reason we requested the waiver was exactly for that purpose. It's,
There is something across the street.
no, so the sidewalk to run this way would be a sidewalk essentially to nowhere, because it doesn't go anywhere once you get to this intersection.
We don't know what
There's
the
always
development.
sidewalks.
Well, we're not looking
That's a good try.
we're not looking to skirt the requirement. Obviously, there would be a fee in lieu of sidewalk that would be taken, and that sidewalk could be constructed if and when it's necessary. Again, I mean, right now, it'd be a sidewalk to another day. So
Not to be
that's why we're.
argumentative, But you did, not to be argumentative, but you did say these houses of this caliber, and you talked about how expensive these houses were gonna be. So I don't know if that's a good enough reason for you not to install the sidewalk with this development.
We're not looking in the skirt of the requirements.
Well, either give you the fee in lieu or install the sidewalk and sell it.
Yeah, it's just,
You know, I think, we've talked about
I
this
think
many
it's gonna look
times,
like
years
crap, but if
ago.
that's what you want.
yeah, I mean, the requirement was never, we don't wanna pay for the sidewalk, it was just, it's not,
Well, you
it's
know,
illogical to install a sidewalk that goes to another place. We'll give you the money to do it later, but.
we've regretted in the past, giving waivers to delete the sidewalks. And you butt right up to the Sterling Farm,
Mhm.
which at some point in time, coming up, we know, is gonna be developed.
Could be, yeah.
So it won't be that long until the sidewalk will be.
And that will be long, we should be required sidewalks.
Okay, well, we're not looking to avoid the obligation in whatever fashion, that's fine.
Do you have a comment, John?
If it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I had a couple of questions and comments and regarding the sidewalk. Does this road, not, as far as I'm concerned, 3 houses, this is a development, okay? Like my development has sidewalks along the road. It's important for me because those sidewalks connect to the Newtown Trail. Does the trail go up to this proposed road along Lower Dolington? We just put in sidewalks slightly above Woods Saxon.
Right.
And it goes almost all the way up to the intersection with Lower Silver Lake Road. But I would say if you put in sidewalks along your road, as may be required, I thought, by the engineer's letter, then people in this development can access by walking the Newtown Trail. We want people to use the trail. And sidewalks are essential for that. The other issue that has come before the Board of Supervisors, by the way, I'm John Mack, supervisor. The other issue that has come before the Board of Supervisors is a particular road that's about the same dimensions, 22 feet wide, and we've learned from that the PA requires on such roads to have fog lines. You know, those white lines along each side of the road, and it is illegal to park your car that any wheel is outside of the fog line. And I'm imagining that the fog lines for this particular road would have to be pretty close to the edges of the road. So there could be no parking there. And I know that our police, this is not a well-traveled road, obviously, but I'm just specifying what I believe the law may be, and irregardless of what, you're considering as precedent. But maybe those things to be in consideration. I think that sidewalks along that road would allow residents, I believe, I have to look at the map, would allow them to access the Newtown Trail, which is very, very popular on Lower Dolington Road. Very popular. And a lot of people use it, and I'm sure the residents of this development would love to get access to the trail. So that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Are we talking about sidewalk along Lower Darlington? Or are we talking about sidewalks along the future Beckett Way?
I think along Lower Dolington.
Okay.
That's what
I'm talking about sidewalks along Willow, whatever it's called. The road you're building to the cul-de-sac inside this development.
No, it's a private, we're gonna be requesting the waiver from doing the internal sidewalks. I thought the discussion was for sidewalks along Lower Dolington.
That's what I wrote.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
right. But there's a firm no to sidewalks internal.
No, we can't.
It's not that
look like the grass.
There's 3 houses, it's a privately owned road, there's absolutely no purpose for installing sidewalks. So that is a non-starter here, just to be clear, we're not gonna be doing that.
I don't see the.
Yeah, that's not a.
This is a glorified driveway.
Correct.
With appropriate safety
Yeah.
features to get in and out.
Yeah.
So you can walk on the street.
You can easily walk on the street unless your neighbor doesn't like you.
Correct.
of the street, the new street, where do you tie into the trail there? Is that what you're saying?
It does not come up that far yet.
No.
It may not come up that far. I haven't,
It's gonna go further than that eventually.
Yeah.
eventually.
I mean, there is a sidewalk in Lower Dolington adjacent to you on the frontage of that.
That is correct.
Devon
Agreed.
is. So that continues to that, and what happens further to the southwest of there is
Understood.
So can I just ask one other thing? So, okay, if you're talking about the sidewalk along Lower Dolington, let's focus on that issue, right?
Right.
Are we talking about a sidewalk that would then connect to the current sidewalk on the trail? So if people are walking along
I know what you're talking about.
Railroad Road to get to.
John, I don't know where the trail is. There is sidewalk here. We would extend that sidewalk from where it terminates now, across here.
correct.
I have no idea where this trail is, or, I thought there was something on the other side of the street, but I don't know that. Do you know where the trail that John's talking about is?
It's far, actually,
You know?
beyond the sidewalks, it's a trail, it's a macadam trail.
Over here?
No, to the left, farther down.
It goes along
Yeah.
Lower
Yeah.
Dolington.
Yes.
This is Woods of Saxony.
Right.
Is this the, it goes along here, I don't know.
Does it get
I
to
think
Hill Haven?
it went up to Hill Haven, okay? I'm not sure about this stretch.
That stretches a sidewalk.
You think there's a sidewalk there? Do you know?
Yeah.
I know that there is sidewalk right where John is pointing.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
Your side of the
so-
street, and that is what you are
Yes.
required to extend.
And we are
And you ask for a
required to do-
waiver of that, and
Yes.
what I'm hearing is that you're gonna install that
Yeah,
sidewalk.
Where is this?
You're gonna
band-
install
But
a
you're
sidewalk?
not required to do that, Trey.
You're gonna install a sidewalk over here, is that what you mean?
Yes, yes,
To there. Oh.
5 foot wide, sidewalk.
The trail is alongside the Woods of Saxon, was just completed.
Back here.
Yeah,
Is
it
it built?
was just completed the past year.
Is it contemporaneous or coexistent with the sidewalk? in Woods of Saxon?
It's different location. Trail stops, sidewalk starts.
But the trail is inside Woods of Saxony, not on
No,
Lower
it's along
Dolington?
Dolington Road.
No.
It is.
The sidewalk is
Side by
part of the
side.
trail.
Not side by side, but.
No, doesn't
Next,
matter.
along, they're next to each, not alongside each
We're
other.
gonna do the
Not
sidewalk
parallel.
along our front.
So people could walk along your driveway, and they won't have to walk in Lower Dolington Road to get onto the trail. There'll be a sidewalk
Correct.
along their property line. Okay.
Is that good?
It's, yeah.
What kind of planning commission is suggesting it be done as a trail, not as a sidewalk, but I think the sidewalk makes more sense.
As opposed to, I mean, different material?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
they're
sidewalk-
saying a bituminous trail, but it's up to the township to decide what
Yeah.
material makes sense. To me, it makes sense to continue the existing concrete sidewalk
Yes.
that is there. And if the planning commission feels differently, you certainly could voice that.
I think that's the right way to go, but.
That would be great. It could be advertised as a continuation of the Newtown Trail, which could be a selling point.
Can I ask you where, like mailboxes, where are they gonna go? On Dolington at the beginning of the road, or?
I would think the end of the driveways, correct?
Right, that's
These
another
are the-
reason to have sidewalk.
The postal service will, tell them where to put them, and they're probably gonna require them to be on Lower Dolington, right?
Right.
Since there's only 3, you'll probably have 3 boxes out there, and they can be decorative boxes that look nice.
You have to basically stop your car, get out of your car and get to the.
If I can, I only have one more comment.
Yeah.
It is subdivision number 1. I specifically asked that, I believe because the ordinance says so, that the trees that you are going to remove, the large diameter trees, to be discussed with the planning commission. Do you know where they are, the 18-inch, 30-inch, and 40-inch trees that are to be removed just on Main Road A?
Yeah, they are shown on our plan set, if you guys do have our plan set. Under the demolition plan, page sheet 5 of our land development plan set. and you'll see the trees that are within the hatched area to be removed. I think our note on our response letter we circulated was, just to read it verbatim.
Is it just those two trees that are?
Three trees. And, Michelle, which number was that again?
Subdivision number 121.
Okay, all right, you're right, I was in the wrong letter, I'm sorry. Basically, and I'm struggling to find it here, but basically we said, yes, we will discuss it, and we'll also make provisions for as they come down, have an arborist on site, just to make sure you're clear with what's coming down.
And as part of your recommendation should be just that you discussed it and the planning commission had no objection to that one.
And will you be, any trees that you take out, are you gonna replace them?
Oh, yes, there's trees being replaced on site, yes. And again, the design intent of the road was to preserve those large specimen trees that everybody wants to maintain.
Do you have any objection to putting the note on the plan saying that the arborist is gonna be there during the construction? Great.
No, we do not.
Great. That was all I had.
Thank you. Melanie, did you guys have any other concerns?
The only item we had is just a small one for the final, our final comment. So there was a waiver requested for the storm drainage piping to be, less than 15 inches. We were just thinking the smaller pipes that connect kind of directly to the dwellings, that's fine to be smaller, but the ones that actually, when it combines and leads into the basin, we think it'd be best for that to be 15 inches.
So, I understand what you're saying. Our pipes are all designed, these are individual lots, so there's not a large enough flow getting to these basins. We also are dealing with, a series of conveyance pipes and not just one going into the basin, they are broken up. We did provide pipe calculations which show that we are able to convey the 100-year storm safely and in accordance with the ordinance, so simply going to 15-foot-inch pipes just to do it is, I think, unnecessary. So we will push back on that if that's possible, and I think that we can convey that it's, again, they're gonna be individual pipes, they're gonna be maintained by a operations and maintenance agreement inspected, and your township will be allowed to inspect them at any time. We don't need to go to 15-inch just to go to 15-inch. So
How many inches are you?
12 is the smallest. So 15 is typical when you get to like large scale subdivisions, but when you're dealing with individual lots, I'm not even quite sure that your ordinance really speaks to individual lot conveyance pipes like this. So, again,
Why do you feel like it needs to be 15 inches?
I believe the ordinance says just all storm drainage piping needs to be 15 inches. If they provided the calculations and it shows that, it is able to be, able to convey the 100-year storm and it'll be routinely inspected and maintained, then, I guess we would have no further issue with that as long as, that's part of.
But our ordinance does state 15-inch is required.
For all storm drainage piping, so it's kind of.
And it's based on a 100-year event. So,
I mean, how big a deal is it for you guys to go from 12 to 15?
it's just we're asking for this waiver just as like a belt and suspenders thing. Most of the time when there's on-lot stormwater basins, the requirements for your storm drains don't apply to that. Like this is for storm pipes going down roads, and again, it's an individual building lot. I mean, I think we all probably have storm gutters and drains on our property that are probably 4 to 6 inches. Technically, that would be illegal by ordinance if that's the case. So again, it's just because we're dealing with large lots. We provided comprehensive stormwater management calculations demonstrating that 12 is sufficient. If 12 wasn't sufficient, I would take the comment and say we'll go to 15, but it's just unnecessary.
For single home, it's typically 12 when we do construction. I mean, when I've done construction, it's always been 12 unless the township has some sort of ordinance that really requires.
12's a large pipe.
It's a very large pipe.
It's not a small.
I mean, 12 versus 15 versus a multi-family, I mean, how much?
Are you satisfied with this?
Significant difference, just from my experience of living in Littleton.
Thank you.
We're satisfied with that, yeah, we just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Spacing the trees. And the lights and, we did agree on the light at the top and bottom of the street.
Correct. Agreed.
Trees. You know, I did have a question about the end, just it being a dead-end street, like if a delivery truck comes down there, how are they, is one of the driveways, are they gonna have to back into someone's driveway to?
Yeah, so, I mean, if a delivery vehicle is going into one of these houses, they would pull into the driveway, whether they pull all the way up and turn around, that's, I guess, personal preference. Pull in, back up, K-turn, and come out. And that's why if you look at this plan's a little clearer, you'll see that little piece that extends beyond, that's designed so that the fire truck, the length of the fire truck can actually K-turn in this driveway, back up, and then leave the site. So yeah, there's, similar to a parking lot that's got a dead end, that there's a little bit of extra space. The road has been designed so that any vehicle that gets into the street, could K-turn and come out.
So a fire truck is okay, get back to one?
Assistant chief and I think satisfied, you know, it's their responsibility to satisfy.
Can you put your microphone on, Lauren? I'm sorry, I can't hear a word you're saying.
If they talk, the assistant chief, the developer has satisfied its requirement to turn a fire truck around.
They're as big as fire trucks, yeah. Okay, any other questions, comments from anybody?
Any other concerns we want to address? Public comment? Well, then.
You could sit up front here, you know, you don't have to hide back there in the back of the room.
Just to have it.
Yeah.
So we would be making a recommendation to the board of supervisors by way of motion that, we, put the plan.
Can't hear you at all, Jerry.
It was on.
It's on, you're just not close enough.
The plan be approved, the waivers that they be approved with the exception of the one on sidewalks, that will have sidewalks in front of the property of Dolington Road. As to lighting, also there'll be lighting at the intersection of the private road or Becker Way and Dolington Road. And otherwise, we're in approval. I'll have to redraft all of this, I'm sorry, but that's, we're following the way this is gonna go.
And I do want to specify Willow is gonna be off the table, yeah, because of Willow Drive right down the street.
First responders have to approve it, so.
Okay.
We understand.
Okay. And you'll come back to us with a different name?
We don't,
Isn't it?
it's not really up to us, so.
Oh, so we get to pick?
No.
You could suggest.
Well, yeah, suggest is what I meant.
Suggesting we're requiring that it not be Willow.
Right.
Can you suggest Mac Lee?
No.
No,
But we can't name it.
no,
Yeah.
you can suggest it.
We'll make another suggestion that it's tasteful, akin to the property. But I hear you on Willow though.
Commissioners of the line with the motion to recommend the approval of this preliminary final plan, with particular attention to the waivers, that they're acceptable and approved, those should be approved, other than what I just mentioned, as to sidewalks and lighting and the name of the street.
a second? Joe, a second, okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. I'll sit up for our next step.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay, next we have our, subcommittees and liaisons.